Greetings and welcome to another Pokemon 2019 or Pokemon Journeys the Series video. So I have made several types of videos for the new Pokemon anime series thus far. I have made episode reviews, episode preview discussions, speculation theory videos, and news related videos. But I have never made a video talking about the things I would like to see in this new series, things that I wish for, because I believe that videos on things that actually happened, on things that will or might happen, are more valuable. But I thought it would be fun to still tackle a video like this, so here we are. In this video, I want to share and discuss the things that I would love to see in the future of this series. Specifically, there are 5 things I wish to see, and I will be sharing the 5 of them in this video. So, let's get to it, shall we? Now, before I get started, I just want you to keep in mind that these are things I want to see and not things that will happen. None of them are impossible given what has happened in this new series so far, and what we know will happen soon, but they are nevertheless not confirmed to happen, so please keep that in mind. I also want to mention that the order in which I will speak of them is of no importance, meaning that I am not ranking one wish as being a bigger priority than the other. The order I used is simply an order that allows the video to flow better. With these 2 disclaimers out of the way, we can finally get started for real. So the first thing I would like to see is the return of more characters from the anime's past. This includes Ash's old traveling companions, his old rivals, gym leaders, Elite Four members, and champions from previous series. The Pokemon anime has been going for over 20 years now, and it currently has over 1,000 episodes aired. Specifically, it has 1,108 episodes as of episode 23 of the new series. With so many episodes spread across several seasons, regions, and generations, it's no surprise that the anime has its fair share of characters that have appeared in the past, both major and minor characters. Characters that have left their mark on Ash, on the story, and on us, the fans. Therefore, it's easy to see why there are so many characters that I would love to see return in the future. The Pokemon anime is no stranger to having characters return, but I feel that it's something that should happen more often, and that when it does, it often leaves me wishing that they went further with it, and the return was more meaningful. This new series is the perfect example of this since it has featured returning characters already. Lance appeared in episode 12 where he fought Leon, which was great. It was an epic fight, but Ash and Lance did not meet, and I think that was a missed opportunity. In episode 18, Ash fought Biscus, substitute gym leader of the Vermilion Gym. Biscus was the substitute gym leader because Lieutenant Surge was not there. So Ash's battle with Biscus was very good and I liked it, but it would have been cooler to see Ash battle Lieutenant Surge himself, who was only seen in flashbacks. These 2 are perfect examples of how returning characters could have had a bigger role. Another character will be returning soon to the new series, and that is of course Korrina, who will return in episode 25, in which she will battle Ash. So this should be a character return that meets or even exceeds expectations. Now let's take a look at the type of characters that I want to see return. First, Ash's traveling companions, most of which have already had a return appearance in the past. May returned in Sinnoh, Dawn returned in Unova, and Silent returned for one of the XY series special episodes where he meets Clement and Bonnie. So all 3 of them had a reappearance in the generation after their original generation, which you could consider a trend, meaning that Ash's traveling companions reappear in the series after the series they are introduced in. However, in Alola, the returning traveling companions were Misty and Brock instead of the XY and XYC cast. So the return of traveling companions is common, and it is very likely we will get more in this new series. The Alola cast is likely to appear given that this is the series after Alola, but Serena, Clement, Bonnie, and Iris are long overdue for a return at this point. It's very possible that Ash will meet his traveling companions, or at least some of them, since he is traveling to every region, so unlike before, his friends wouldn't have to travel to the region he is currently in. Ash can run into them as he travels. Now, returning traveling companions lead to fun and nostalgic interactions, and it is always cool to see if any of their Pokemon have evolved, and we can also learn what they have been up to. However, I would like to see character returns that lead to intense battles more than anything, and traveling companions don't meet that goal, though Misty did battle Ash, and Brock did battle Kiawe in the Sun and Moon series, but this was an outlier and not the norm. Rivals are the ones that will bring heated battles to the table if they return. Now, returning rivals are far more uncommon than returning traveling companions, with the only example being Gary's return in the Sinnoh saga. So the return of Ash's rivals is less likely to happen when you consider their rarity, but if there was ever a time for them to return, it is now with this new series. The special preview showed Korrina's return with the caption, "Rivals from around the world, assemble." In my video on the special preview, I talked about this. It could hint at the return of more known characters that will battle Ash as part of the Pokemon World Championship. These characters could, of course, be old rivals like Paul, Alan, and Gary. It is the Pokemon World Championship, meaning that it is a competition that is not based on a single region. Anyone, anywhere can participate, so Ash's old rivals can compete in the championship. They can battle, win, and increase their rank until they eventually match up against Ash, which would lead to some epic battles. Alan is rumored to return, which does not guarantee anything, of course, since rumors are rumors, but I wouldn't dismiss the possibility. I really want to see Ash face his old rivals again. And finally, we have Elite Four, gym leaders, and champions. I would like to see more gym leaders return so that they can battle Ash like Korrina. I think it could happen since Korrina is returning and Lieutenant Surge was mentioned several times in episode 18. Gym leaders are cool, strong, and notable characters, so it would be great to see them face Ash again, with updated looks and with new teams. They could participate in the Pokemon World Championship as well, which would make the championship feel like the Pokemon World Tournament from Pokemon Black and White 2, where you could face prominent trainers from all over the series. Now, as far as Elite Four and Champions go, this is more geared towards Leon. It would be awesome, of course, to see old champions in Elite Four return to face Ash, but that might be unlikely since such strong trainers would be in the upper levels of the championship, though it could happen if Ash makes his way to the top, which he probably will since he wants to battle Leon. But I want more members of the Elite Four to return to face Leon like Lance did, and I would especially like to see old champions return like Cynthia so that they can also battle Leon. The special preview showed that Raihan will face Leon, and they showed this, the top 8 trainers in the championship. You can clearly see the silhouettes of Leon, Lance, and Raihan, but the other 5 are generic. I feel that these are placeholders for now. In the future, more notable trainers will return to face Leon, which could be Elite Four and Champion. I really want to see all of this happen, and I feel that it is not impossible. The next thing I wish for is on the same spectrum as the previous wish. I would like to see the return of Ash's old Pokemon. This comes in 2 forms: the return of Pokemon he still currently owns, most of which reside at Professor Oak's lab, and the return of Pokemon Ash officially released into the wild, or Pokemon that have been in training forever. Seeing Ash's old Pokemon is always a treat, and it's a shame that it does not happen more often. It was also disappointing that Ash only reunited with Bulbasaur when he returned to Kanto during the Sun and Moon series. In my video ranking the Pokemon League tournaments from worst to best, I talked about the return of Ash's old Pokemon. And I mentioned that it's always great when it happens, and it's part of the reason why I ranked the Johto and Sinnoh leagues so high. Seeing Ash's old Pokemon return with new moves to help him overcome tough battles is epic, and it has happened several times throughout the series and not just during Pokemon leagues. I would love to see this happen in the new series. Ash's current goal is the Pokemon World Championship. He wants to fight his way up the ranks so that he can face the world champion, Leon. The higher up he goes, the harder the opponents will be, so he might need to call upon his best Pokemon so that he can compete. Someone actually asked me in the comments for one of my videos what team would Ash use to battle Leon at the end of the series. I provided 2 answers. One was assuming he would use only his new Pokemon that he catches in the new series, so I speculated a bit on what his team could look like. The other answer was assuming Ash would use his best Pokemon ever, knowing that he had to be at his absolute best to beat Leon. And the team I came up with was these 5. Pikachu, Charizard, Sceptile, Infernape, and Greninja, with the last slot being filled by either Heracross, Snorlax, Crocodile, or Incineroar. The thought of Ash using the best of the best to battle his strongest opponent yet honestly gives me goosebumps. It's such an amazing prospect. So I would like to see this, a repeat of the Sinnoh League, Ash battling to win using all of his experience, knowledge, and all of the Pokemon in his arsenal, the peak of his quest for mastery. It would also be cool to see the return of some of his old Pokemon that never got a chance to evolve, so that they can finally evolve seasons later, like Cyndaquil did in Sinnoh, and like Phanpy did in the Battle Frontier arc. This would certainly be amazing as well. Just imagine if his Gible evolves all the way into Garchomp. Ash with a Garchomp, can you imagine how amazing that would be? And the return of his old Pokemon could also give certain Pokemon a chance at redemption. Pokemon like Torterra and Unfezant that notably lost a lot of battles. Torterra especially never won a single battle after it evolved. And it would also give a chance to shine to some Pokemon, most notably Incineroar, who never even got the chance to battle after evolving. On the released Pokemon front, it would be great for Ash to run into them again since he is traveling to every region. It would be nice to see some of them join him again, like Pidgeot. It is rumored that Greninja will return, and if it happens, it would, of course, be amazing. Naganadel is probably out of the question since an Ultra Hole would be needed for that reunion, but the rest could still happen. Even if they don't join Ash's team again, a nostalgic reunion where the Pokemon in question joins Ash momentarily to help him or to battle alongside him would still be great. Now, Primeape deserves a special mention because technically, Ash still owns Primeape, it's just that Primeape is in training. It has been in training since episode 29, which is over 1,000 episodes ago. This episode was back in the original series. It first aired in Japan in 1997, which was 23 years ago. Since then, Primeape has only appeared in flashbacks, in opening themes, and in ending themes. Like seriously, Primeape has never returned to the anime, even though Ash still owns it. I am still hoping that Primeape will return because despite its brief appearance back then, it was a strong Pokemon and it ended up developing a close bond with Ash. I just don't understand why they seemingly forgot about it, because Ash has other Pokemon in training that have returned. Squirtle left Ash to be with the Squirtle squad, but Squirtle has returned several times to help Ash when Ash needed it most, like in the Johto League after Kingler was hurt, and during the Battle Frontier arc to battle Brandon. Charizard was also in training at the Shirecific Valley, but Ash called upon it when it needed Charizard the most, like in the Johto League and twice during the Battle Frontier. Charizard even joins Ash's team near the end of the Best Wishes series, but Primeape, nowhere to be seen, and that just saddens me. Hopefully, Primeape returns one day. Episode 15 of the new series gave me some hope that this could still happen because when Ash heard about the Mankey that stole Cubone's bone, he mentions that, yeah, they can be mischievous. Almost like he still remembers the trouble his Primeape caused when it was still a Mankey. So yeah, I want Primeape to return, and after 23 years and over 1,000 episodes of training, I am expecting One Punch Primeape. Now, before I move on, I just want to say that I want to see Ash's old Pokemon return, yes, but this does not mean that I want Ash's new Pokemon to be sidelined. I still want to see a lot more of Dragonite, Gengar, and Riolu. I don't want them to lose focus. I also want more screen time for Ash's future captures. Ash's old Pokemon should still return, but this should happen much later down the line, and it can be a momentary thing. One episode, one battle. Though I would like to see more cases like Charizard in the Best Wishes series and Phanpy in the Battle Frontier arc, Pokemon that return to join his party for several episodes. In the end, I feel that this is the best series for his old Pokemon to return. So my next wish is that Ash Mega evolves his Pokemon, those that have a Mega Evolution of course. I would also like to see him Dynamax his Pokemon and Gigantamax more of his Pokemon, again, those that can. Every generation since Generation 6 has their big, flashy, powerful, and unique thing that Pokemon can do in battle that is limited to one Pokemon per battle. Something that can change the tide of the battle if used at the right time. Generation 6 has Mega Evolution, Generation 7 has C moves, and Generation 8 has Dynamax and Gigantamax. All of these also appear in the anime, and Ash, as the protagonist, gets to dabble in them. In the Sun and Moon series, he used a bunch of different C moves of different types and with several different Pokemon. In the new series, he already Gigantamax Pikachu twice in episode 13. On this front, I would like to see him Gigantamax more of his Pokemon. In his current team, he has Gengar that can Gigantamax, and if his old Pokemon return, then he also has these that can Gigantamax as well. Gigantamax Pokemon are cool, and I hope we get to see all of them in the anime at some point, and hopefully some of them belong to Ash. Dynamax is, of course, not limited to certain Pokemon like Gigantamax, so it's something that can be done more freely, and hopefully Ash does Dynamax several of his Pokemon going forward. Of course, you can only Dynamax and Gigantamax Pokemon in certain areas. But hopefully, as the competition in the Pokemon World Championship intensifies, Ash gets the chance to fight in places that allow it. So, Ash used a variety of C moves, and he already got the chance to Gigantamax Pikachu. However, Ash notoriously never got the chance to Mega Evolve his Pokemon in the XY and XYC series. He did have Ash Greninja, which was like a Mega Evolution, but it is not an actual Mega Evolution. So, I want Ash to finally Mega Evolve his Pokemon, or at least some of them. I have a theory as to why Ash never got the chance to Mega Evolve his Pokemon. None of the Pokemon on his Kalos team could Mega Evolve. For Ash to Mega Evolve his Pokemon, there were three solutions, all of which had their issues. The first solution was to have him catch a Pokemon that does have a Mega Evolution. The problem with this is that in every series except for the new series, Ash only catches new Pokemon of that current generation. So he could not catch any Pokemon that could Mega Evolve from previous regions. They could only be from Kalos. However, the only Generation 6 Pokemon that can Mega Evolve is Diancie, which is a mythical Pokemon, and thus not something Ash would catch, though he did get Meltan, another mythical Pokemon, the series after this one. Still, catching a mythical Pokemon that could Mega Evolve would have been too crazy for Ash. The second solution was for Ash to bring back his old Pokemon, specifically the ones that can Mega Evolve, which are these, excluding released Pokemon. However, like I mentioned before, Ash only brings back his old Pokemon when he needs them for special battles. Charizard and Phanpy were brought back to his party for a while, which I also mentioned, but these are special cases and not the norm. It would have been beyond amazing if this had happened, though. The third solution was to give one of the Kalos Pokemon he did catch a Mega Evolution, but this means creating a Mega Evolution just for Ash, which I guess they kind of did with Greninja. But creating an actual Mega Evolution in game just for Ash would be too much. Creating an anime original Mega Evolution just for Ash was more likely, but then they had to add it to the games like Ash Greninja. The biggest issue is that it would go against the purpose of Mega Evolution, which was to give older Pokemon new life. That is why Diancie is the only Generation 6 Pokemon to have a Mega Evolution. Generation 6 Pokemon were brand new back then when Mega Evolution was introduced. They had no need for a new form. Audino is the only Generation 5 Pokemon that has a Mega Evolution because Generation 5 is the generation before 6, so it was still recent. Most Mega Evolutions are for Pokemon from Generations 1 to 4. Since all of these solutions were simply not possible, Ash was left without a Mega Evolution, and Ash Greninja was created to give Ash something similar. I want Ash to get the chance to finally Mega Evolve his Pokemon. Korrina is returning to the anime, and she brings her Mega-Lucario, which also means the return of Mega Evolution to the anime. Korrina gives the player the Mega Ring in Pokemon X and Y alongside a Lucario Knight, so I want her to fulfill this role in the anime for Ash, since Ash also has a Riolu that will certainly evolve into Lucario in the future. Ash also has Gengar in his current team that can Mega Evolve. If Ash brings back his old Pokemon, released Pokemon included, like I want, then he will also be able to Mega Evolve his old Pokemon as well. This would be amazing, and it gives Ash something he should have gotten in the past. It basically corrects a mistake from the anime, which is something this new series has been doing. So next up is a simple one. I want Ash to catch a lot of Pokemon. In my video, What Else Will Ash Catch? What's Next for His Team, I went over the Pokemon Ash has caught per region, and I mentioned that he always catches at least 5 Pokemon so that he can have a full team with Pikachu included. However, in Unova, Ash caught 9 Pokemon, which is the most he has ever caught in a region if you exclude Kanto, which for me also includes the Orange Islands. In this new series, he has caught 3 Pokemon so far, and I hope that he catches a lot more than just 5. I have already made various videos discussing what else he might catch, like the previously mentioned What Else Will Ash Catch video. I hope he does catch Sobble, Grookey, Tyranitar, and Latias, but I want him to catch more beyond this. Like I mentioned before, Ash always catches only new Pokemon of the current generation, But in this new series, he has so far caught only old Pokemon. No Galar Pokemon yet until he gets Sobble. This means that the new series has no limits as to what Ash can catch, and there are a plethora of Pokemon I would love to see him catch, which could make for its own video. And not just old Pokemon either. I would love to see him get more Galar Pokemon like Corviknight, which is one of my favorite new Pokemon from Pokemon Sword and Shield. He could get Pokemon that are capable of Mega Evolving or Gigantamaxing, or both, which helps with my previous wish. This new series is also a great time for him to catch a lot of new Pokemon because he currently keeps his new Pokemon on standby at Sakuragi or Ceres Park, so he can have a full team of 6 while the remaining Pokemon are just waiting to be rotated into the party when needed. This is something that Ash did in Unova because he caught 9 Pokemon, meaning that he could not have all of them on hand at the same time. So he just kept rotating them around, meaning that he never had the same party. He has not used this method of training since then because he did not exceed the 6 Pokemon limit in the generations after Unova. I really like this method because it means more variety. Ash does not use the same Pokemon over and over again. I realize that this does conflict with my wish of wanting to see the return of his old Pokemon because the more new Pokemon he has, the less time there will be for old Pokemon. But I still would like to see Ash catch a bunch of cool and epic new Pokemon, which he can then use in the Pokemon World Championship. He can have a variety of teams ready to face any opponent. And finally, my last wish is another simple one. I would like to see the return of gym battles. More specifically, I want Ash to challenge the Galar gym leaders. Gym leaders are a staple of the games, and in the anime, Ash always earns 8 badges after beating the gym leaders. Generation 7 did remove gyms and replace them with the Iceland challenges, which was a unique approach, but I still prefer gyms and I miss them. The Sun and Moon anime stuck to the games, so there were no gyms either. Sword and Shield brought gyms back, and I was looking forward to their return in the anime as well, since gym battles are among my favorite parts of the anime. However, Ash has not battled a single gym leader yet in the new series, nor has he shown any intent to do so. It's probably because the theme of this new series is that Ash travels to every region, rather than traveling through one single region. So the classic formula of traveling from town to town, from gym to gym, does not work here. And Ash is also focused on the Pokemon World Championship, which does fit the theme of the new series. Still, I think gym battles can fit in if they just have Ash travel to Galar and he goes to one specific town to face the gym located there. It can be a 2 episode thing, one for meeting the gym leader and one for the battle. After that, Ash can travel to other regions as normal and he can return to Galar every now and then to battle other gyms. Episodes 12 and 13 both took place in Galar, so it can be done. I was hoping that Leon would tell Ash about the gym challenge, since he is the one that endorses the player for it in Sword and Shield. But of course, Leon did not mention the gym challenge at all. So now, I am hoping that Raihan will tell Ash about the gym challenge, since Raihan is an actual Galar gym leader. Maybe Ash can battle Raihan, Ash loses, and Raihan tells him that if he wants a rematch, he should battle his way through the gym challenge so that he can face him, the 8th and final gym leader. I love gym battles in the anime, and it would be a shame not to have them in the new series. Gym battles would also offer Ash more chances to Dynamax and Gigantamax as Pokemon, since gyms are one of the few places where you can use Dynamax and Gigantamax. And they can also offer more chances for Ash to battle, which means more action and more screen time for his new team. I also have this crazy idea, which I have had since the new series was announced. I mentioned this idea briefly in my first wish that Ash could battle all the gym leaders he has faced before, but instead of them participating in the Pokemon World Championship, it would be more like Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, where you could challenge any gym leader to a rematch, though in this case, I would like them to be at the gyms themselves. There really would be no point to it other than showing us epic battles, but man, would it be amazing. The point is, I love gym battles and I want them to return to the anime. And those are the 5 things I would love to see in Pokemon 2019 or Pokemon Journeys the series. Again, these are things I want to see and not things that will happen. This video ended up being longer than I anticipated, but I wanted to properly discuss and develop my wishes as opposed to just listing them. I wanted to cover every angle and every reason why it could happen. Most of these are things I thought of back when the new series was announced. The idea of a Pokemon anime series where Ash travels to every region in the Pokemon world had me daydreaming immediately. I thought of so many amazing things I have always wanted to see in the anime, and most of them seemed impossible, like a dream that would never come true. Now that I have experienced this new series, I believe that several of the things I wish for are well within the realm of possibility. This new series might just tick all the boxes. It might just fulfill the ultimate anime fans' wish list. And if it does, it will be without a doubt the best Pokemon anime series ever. The anime finally returned from its hiatus, and I can't wait to see all the amazing things we know are coming very soon, and I can't wait to see what other surprises lie in store just around the next episode. It's certainly a great time to be a Pokemon anime fan. But that's the video. As always, leave your own thoughts down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and would like to see more like it, then please consider subscribing to my channel. I love Pokemon and I love making videos on both the anime and the games. Also, please consider clicking the links on screen so that you can check out more videos like this right away. Thank you very much for watching, and let's meet again in the next video.